I've been seeing this AITA headline everywhere, even on Martha Stewart. So do with that what you will. So I went to the source and read it and then read the comments, and I am quite conflicted. So I would like to read it to you guys and get your thoughts. So the poster was invited to a dinner party. At the end, she says it's 27 people, so it's pretty big, 20 different dishes to choose from. The host who invited her sent a message saying it would be awesome if you all could bring plant-based dishes so everyone can try everything. I didn't think it was a rule. I saw it more like a suggestion. So then she says she brought 2 dishes, one vegan and one non-vegan. I made sure to put a visible tag that showed the vegan and non-vegan food. She didn't try none of the dishes I brought. At the dinner, Hannah, the host, looked really upset and later texted me that I was really disrespectful for bringing animal products into her home. I apologized, but I also didn't think it was that big of a deal since I didn't force her to it and I brought a food that she could also eat. Also, mind you, we've already eaten non-vegan food there plenty of times, so I would have never guessed it would be such a problem. And then, like I said, she mentions it's 27 people, 20 different dishes, most of them vegan. So it seems like other people brought non-vegan stuff too. Or maybe she's saying most, but she means all except for the one non-vegan thing she brought. So the comments overwhelmingly are that yes, she is the asshole. Your vegan friend organizes dinner and requests her friends to bring plant-based dishes so everybody can try everything. You decided to bring a non-vegan dish. You're the asshole. You knew your friend was vegan. She asked you politely to bring plant-based dishes so everyone can try everything. You decided to bring food to your friend's party that you knew your friend couldn't eat and to ignore what she said about everyone getting to try everything. If you want to be invited back ever, I suggest you apologize properly, acknowledge that was an asshole move, and you won't do it again. I wouldn't bring wine or beer, for example, to the home of a recovering alcoholic just because the invite didn't specifically say not to. Know your host and plan accordingly. I'm conflicted. So if we go back to the invite, assuming this is how it was actually worded, it would be awesome if you all could bring plant-based dishes so everyone can try everything. That's not very direct. People tend to do this, and by people, I mean women, some men too, of course, but women in particular seem to do this like, hey, it would be cool. Hey, it would be awesome. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm having a dinner. It's all vegan food. You don't have to bring anything if you want, but if you do, please make sure that it's plant-based, no animal products, right? It feels bad sometimes to say something like that. It feels much better to say, it would be awesome. It would be cool. It would be nice. I would love it if. And I think for many women, we get that when we read it, right? We understand that it's not a suggestion, that it's a rule. But there are going to be people who read that and understandably see it as a suggestion, I think. I think that's understandable, especially when apparently they've eaten non-vegan food there plenty of times. Now, one person, the one who made the wine or beer example, to the alcoholic's house, they did say it's possible that those previous times that people brought meat did actually bother the host, and that's why she specified, albeit not as clearly as she should have, to bring plant-based food. Oh, and then she says something after that I also want to touch on, but sure, that's absolutely possible that it did bother her, but she has trouble, standing up for herself and not wanting to come across as rude. And so instead of being more direct, like I did earlier with my example, she did it would be awesome if, and yeah, I don't think it's fair to get mad at someone for not understanding that really what you were saying is don't bring animal products to my house. And there's also this problem with, people get mad when we specify vegan versus plant-based, right? Because it seems very tribe-ish or like culty, you're not a real vegan. But there is an important reason to do that, right? Vegan is a philosophy. It's not just a diet. And so someone who is just plant-based, say they're doing it for health reasons or they just don't like meat and other animal products or whatever, they're probably not going to be bothered if you do bring egg or even meat into their house, right? They're probably going to have like a you do you sort of attitude. But someone who is vegan for the animals and are upset by people eating animals probably not going to want you to bring meat or eggs or cheese into their home. And given the wording of this post, it seems like the poster was assuming that this is where the host stood, right? I don't get the sense at all that the host is a vegan, or that the poster knows the host is a vegan. And also, we don't know how long this person has been vegan. Maybe this is a new thing. But yeah, the difference between vegan and plant-based, brings me to this last thing I wanted to touch on. For those who don't like the alcohol analogy, someone suggested the analogy that you wouldn't bring pork to a dinner at a Jewish household. So I think the difference there is that everyone knows that pork and Judaism is a religious reason. It is not just a diet thing. People understand that a Jewish person would be offended if you brought pork into your home. People don't necessarily understand that a vegan would be offended if you brought pork into their home. And to be clear, there are some comments that are saying not the asshole, like this was not worded direct enough. I can understand where you got confused or like whatever. There are people saying basically what I'm saying. But yeah, I was shocked to see the number of yes, you're the asshole comments with the number of likes they have. That just really surprised me in a good way, I guess. It is nice to see people taking the vegan side, but yeah, I don't think it's very fair. And luckily, it should be an easy thing to fix, assuming the host is a reasonable person, right? You just say, I'm so sorry. I took that as just a suggestion. It won't happen again. That's it, right? Friendship should be mended, but people are people, and people aren't always super great at forgiveness and understanding. Anyway, I would love to know y'all's thoughts if you've had similar experiences or, more nefarious isn't the right word, but people like knowing that you don't want certain foods in your house and bringing them anyway. I know that happens. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. Please do leave a like and subscribe, of course. Ooh, my big toe just popped. That was a good pop. And thank you so much to all of my members on YouTube and my patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I do post 2 exclusive videos a month for tier 2 members and patrons, a vlog, and then a controversial topic. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thanks again. New video soon. My calves are so sore. So I have like terrible knots in both my calves, especially my left calf, to the point where you just like rub on my calf and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And I never thought about it, I guess. Whenever I would try to foam roll, it was just like, oh, that really hurts, so I'm not going to do it, which is like the point of foam rolling. But anyway, partner is on a mission to fix my calves and get the knots out. And oh my God, he massaged and pressed and it was terrible. Did that yesterday morning after I worked out, and then again last night. And my right calf, which is the one that isn't as bad, was noticeably better that night. So like that was pretty exciting. My left a little bit too, but still like pretty painful. And every time I'm like, don't press so hard. And then he'll show me like on my arm, like this is how hard I'm pressing. And it's not hard at all, but it feels like he is just jabbing me like with his elbow. I'm wondering why I get those and also what muscle knots are. Apparently we don't actually know like what they are. It's super funny. But yeah, I'm wondering why I have them, why my calves are just so ouchy. A lot of people say, oh, it's like misalignment problems or like issues with your feet or with your hips. And I do have one leg that's like noticeably longer than the other. If you like stand while I'm standing, look at my hips, like one is noticeably higher. I think my left, I can't remember which one, but maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe that's the source of my back pain as well. I don't know.